Hi everyone, this is my video response to the history of sex. The first question is, what was sex like in the 18th century? Um, as said in the video, they were very sexually excessive. Um, Not much was off limits. There was rape, there was torture, there was bestiality, and sex was just something that was accepted. Um, and it was excessive. On the flip side, there were people like Casanova who believed that there was pleasure from just being in the company of women and not only in sex. Um, for morals in the 18th century, there was a lot of scandal that was going on. The higher you stood in society, the more you can get away with. So there was a lot of immoral behavior happening. Um, Now, in the colonies, they tried to get away from the corruption that was happening in Europe, and they tried to start new. Um, Through the church, they kind of said that you should filter all your behaviors and all your thoughts, and they were trying to be big on this. However, in real life, there was a lot of casual sex that was going on, a lot of adultery. And even though they preached one thing and they said that you should filter your behaviors and filter your thoughts, there was illegitimate children being born. And I found it very interesting that while the woman was giving birth, there were what was called 12 angry women who would stand around her and basically harass her to tell who the father was. Um, and in marriage, basically, a man would turn a blind eye to a woman's past. And this probably had to do with the ratio of men and women. And in the Victorian age, there was a really big shift, um, even from previous eras. There were very rigid values in the Victorian age. Men were supposed to go out and be providers, where women were supposed to stay home and be domestic and be angels of the household. And I found it very interesting that doctors stressed limitation of sex in the marriage. Um, a wife was supposed to be warm and loving, but kind of sexually indifferent. And I found it interesting that a man would often go outside of his marriage to find that sexual intimacy, and he would keep a mistress. Um, and that wouldn't basically have any effect on his social standing in life. But if he was homosexual, that would basically lessen his social standing. Um, what surprised me about the video was how the Native Americans society worked and how women from the colonies, once they were rescued, they would often go back to the Native American society on their own free will. So I found that very interesting how that differed from the way the colonies were.